and gentlemen, it's me, Sonic W318, back again for another video for you guys. And today, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your WWE WrestleMania 38 review. Yep, the Showcase of the Immortals has finally come and gone as we now look into WrestleMania Backlash 2022 coming up pretty soon. Actually, within this next weekend coming up, because obviously enough, it's coming up, and I'm here to give you guys my review for WrestleMania just in time for our WrestleMania Backlash 2022 coverage coming up. So we're here for this review, obviously enough, because obviously enough, it would be kind of awkward if we just jump from one ship to the other without me actually covering the actual meat of the crop of WWE, because it's WrestleMania. How would I not cover it? But all just aside though, we are finally here, just in time for me to get this review done for you guys so we can get on to said content later on this weekend enough as we head on to WrestleMania Backlash 2022. Obviously enough, heading out of this actual show, obviously enough. So with this said, we are not going to wait. We are going to get this thing started so we can get onto the road, so we can get onto that stuff coming up pretty soon on the channel up next. So blah, 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 blah. Let's get started. Alright, so our review starts off with night one. Kicking off night one, we had the Usos taking on the team of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs for the Smackdown Tag Team Championship. My prediction for this match was for the Usos to win, but wouldn't have mind or been too surprised if they gave the win to Nakamura and Boogs. But I won this match as Usos did retain this match. So that's my prediction score 1-0 to start off WrestleMania 38 with a bang. And my thoughts on this match was, match really should have been longer and offered more for it being the opening match of this whole event. But for what it delivered though, seemed to be something you'd see on Smackdown, to be honest, sadly enough. The legit injury Boogs got out of this match most likely was the reason for the match to end and freaking feel rushed, to say the least. But here's to hoping the rest of the show can bump up the stakes from here on out to make up for it. So there is that for Usos and Nakamura and Boogs. So start us off on WrestleMania 38, obviously enough. So as I said, let's continue. Next up, we had Drew McIntyre versus Barrett Corbin with Madcap Moss on the outside on Baron Corbin's side of the ring, obviously enough. My prediction for this match was for Drew McIntyre to win, and he won this match, so that is my prediction score 2-0. And my thoughts on this match was, not a bad match by any means, but was just disappointed but let me rephrase this. Not a bad match by any means, but was just disappointed how they went straight back to back with both men's finishers and just ended the match in that fashion, which just seemed crazy to me to be honest, creatively, as they could have gone further with this match, with Drew being the first to ever kick out of the End of Days to make the finish of the match more unpredictable to come. But oh wells. Again, an alright match, but just wishing it ended up better, to say the least. So there's that. Next up, we have the team with Rey and Dominic Mysterio taking on that's kind of weird for me to say that. Let me just rephrase it with the Mysterios taking on The Miz and Logan Paul. Leave it at that. So there's that. My prediction for this match was for the Mysterios to win, and I lost this match, so this is my prediction score 2-1. And my thoughts on this match was, for a match that seemed like it could have been a throwaway match just to give these guys and Logan Paul a payday, to be honest, seriously, because it could easily just been, hey, we could be like, hey, Logan Paul, here's your paycheck, go out there and wrestle for a few minutes, blah. But still, they went out there and truly gave us a surprise of a match, as it was full of high stakes action and moments that resulted in me truly getting invested into it all. And very much enjoyed what they had to offer us overall, to say the least. So what I said, good job, guys. Good job with this match. So I can't say enough. Just, well, this match could have just been complete trash and garbage. This match turned out to be a really good match. So happy to say that. Moving on next, we had Becky Lynch taking on Bianca Bel-Air for the Raw Women's Championship. my prediction for this match was for Bel-Air to win, and she did win this match as she became the new Raw Women's Champion, obviously enough. So this is my prediction score, 3-1. And my thoughts on this match was, while the beginning of the match was complete ass in my opinion, it did pick up along the way and ended with the result we all seen coming. How long will Bianca Belair be champ is up in the air for us to wait and see, but the match that we got nonetheless wasn't anything too grand as they tried to tell us narratively within the match, to be honest. But still was an alright match overall. So with that said, there you go. Next up, we have Seth Rollins taking on TBA, with that TBA being the obvious Cody Rhodes. Obviously, no, because obviously we all seen it coming, and Cody Rhodes came here to WrestleMania 38 and challenged Seth Rollins. But did he actually get the win? Here we go. We're going to find out right now. So my prediction for this match was for Rhodes to win, and spoiler alert, obviously enough, he did. Haha. So, haha. My prediction score came true, and my score was 4-1 after this match. And my thoughts on this match was, this match seemed to deliver a pinpoint example of what I felt Drew and Corbin could have done with the ending of their match, as these two both hit their finishers in a way that still kept the pacing of the match going, and the match wasn't even near its end when it came to this regard, obviously enough. While there's bound to be plenty of reasons why, I stressed the word why, because if you remember my prediction video or whatever I said, my prediction video is to say why it could have been Cody Rhodes or why he left AEW. So I stressed the word why, even if my notes is literally caps, why. So let me say it. So let me rephrase this again with that kind of little tongue twister, kind of funny little joke out of the way. While there's bound to be plenty of reasons of why Cody decided to leave everything behind AEW to come back to WWE, the match both he and Rollins gave us was quite entertaining and fun to watch, to say the least. So there you go. Moving on, next was Charlotte Flair taking on Ronda Rousey for the Smackdown Women's Championship. My prediction for this match was for Rousey to win, and she lost this match surprisingly enough to Charlotte Flair, and my prediction score was 4-2. And my thoughts on this match was, similar to Lynch's and Bianca Belair's match, this match to me started out rather slow before it eventually got going. But compared to that one though, which was obviously Lynch's and Belair's match, obviously, this match at least didn't annoy me as much as the opening minutes seemed to do with Lynch and Bianca Belair's match, to be honest. Overall though, the match was alright to me, but just didn't quite like how it ended, as the match, as much as it does seem like to build up Flair's and Rousey's rematch at WrestleMania Backlash coming up next, obviously enough, and we actually are getting that in their I Quit match, obviously enough, so there's that. Seeing as it'll ultimately suck to give us the result we all seen coming there, instead of it just getting over with here at Mania, but oh well. So like I said, it sucks that we're gonna have to wait and see the result we've seen coming here, instead of actually giving it, we're gonna get it, we're gonna most likely gonna get it there, then we could have just got it here just to get it over with, but oh well, WWE is WWE for you, and we're gonna finally see, like I said, Rousey and Flair are gonna go at it again, coming up next, here soon enough in an I Quit match, to most likely, overall, ultimately give Rousey the freaking Smackdown Championship any other way, so there you go. So, with that out of the way now, we actually end off night one. That's the end of night one. So, we in night one so far with a score of 4 wins and 2 loses. After a KO segment and a match, a fun match I might add, with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So there's that. So after all that fun little jumble that I'm not obviously, I did put it in my notes, but I just simply put it as, just like I said, just KO show and a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's it. I didn't type anything else other than that, because obviously, why bother? So, like I said before, the night ended right there after Kevin Owens and Steve Austin did their stuff in the ring, and all over the ring I might add, with a score of 4-2, as we head and jump into night 2, with the start of the show of the night 2, obviously like I said, starting off with RK Bro taking on the Alpha Academy, taking on the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Championship in a triple threat matchup. So as I said, my prediction for this match was for RK Bro to win, and they won this match. As my prediction score starts off night 2 with a 5-2 score. And my thoughts was, and I quote, while not the show stealer kind of match that others thought it could have been, this match was definitely a fun show opener for night 2. Each team seemed to have their time to shine in the ring, and that double RKO ending from RK Bro was a nice way for them to put it into the match and retain the titles, to say the least. So we said, there you go. So overall, a nice way to kick off the show for night 2, and a nice way for him to win overall, to say the least. So boom. Next up, we have Omos taking on Bobby Lashley. My prediction for his match was for Bobby Lashley to win, but I wouldn't be too shocked or surprised if Omos got the win, though, to be honest. My prediction came true, as Lashley did win this match, and my prediction score was 6-2. I can no longer do this anymore, but my prediction score is 6-2. And my thoughts on this match was, as slow as it was, the match wasn't too bad, I suppose. For what it had to offer, the match had some nice moments of tension to get yourself invested into it, but overall, truly was just an okay match to get Lashley back from his time off from Elimination Chamber, and ultimately seeing him get the turn. So we have a rivalry between Lashley and Omos still going strong. As at the time of recording this video, I just headed into WrestleMania Backlash, as Lashley is on his own since freaking MVP turned his back on him and now is aligning himself with Omos to go toward the future to come. Will it just be WrestleMania Backlash, or will it actually be certain more further than this shit? That's to be seen. That's what we got right now on pen and paper. We have Lashley versus Omos and MVP. That is our storyline right there for Lashley, to say the least. Some might say, okay, that's perfectly fine to get Lashley back on screen. Okay, well, others might feel like, wow, okay, Lashley can do so much more. You know, it's up in the air, whichever you feel for you guys. But WWE, and you know, if that's what they're gonna do, that's what they have to do. So it's whatever. Point being, that's what we got, and you know, we just gotta see what happens. Where Lashley's gonna go from there. So there you go. Now moving on from that tangent about Bobby Lashley, as I didn't think I was actually going to talk about that for that bit of time, to be honest. We have Sami Zayn taking on Johnny Knoxville in an anything goes match. My prediction for this match was for Knoxville to win, and I won this match, making my prediction score 7-2. And my thoughts on this match was, despite the obvious silliness that came with this match, it did in fact give us an entertaining match to watch, to say the least. Plenty of interesting props were used, both in comedic and legit wrestling fashion, and Knoxville himself wasn't too awfully bad in the ring for what he had to offer. Not a guy with any true wrestling talent by any means. My bad. I had to turn off freaking something on my phone real quick because I had legit. I was getting tired of my phone. Freaking, you know, if you didn't notice, if you didn't notice the freaking fading on my phone, I got tired of that. I didn't want it to freaking fade, so that's what I was doing. So blah. Let me rephrase that. So, not a guy with any true talent by any means, but still did his job just fine. Overall, a match that could have been quite trash and immature, instead was one that gave us a fun little match to watch, to say the least. So we said, there you go. Was it dumb? Yes. But was it fun? Yes. So, yes. Moving on. We have a Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team Championship match between the likes of, I forgot who they were. I'm pretty sure you know what, screw it. Since Amari this nosedive deep, I might as well freaking, let's make a freaking prediction game, a freaking guessing game of what the freaking match card was in this match. I'm going to, if I remember right, it was obviously, you know, the likes of, because obviously as you'll see in my freaking, you know, my result and my prediction, all that shit, I had it being Banks and Naomi being one team, so that's one. We have Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. That's two. We had, obviously, I think we're the champs at the time, we had freaking Carmella and Zelina Vega. And I want to say the last one was potentially, here's the guess, because I'm not sure. But I am 80 or 90% sure it was the team of Natalya and Shayna Baszler. If that was that right, I don't know. If it was, then hooray. If not, then boo. There you go. There's a little fun tangent out of the way. We're going to carry on the freaking show, shall we? So let's carry on. So anyways, my prediction over that freaking mumbo jumbo we just did there, we had my prediction was for Banks and Naomi to win, but wouldn't have mind seeing Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan get the win as well. With that said, my prediction came true as Banks and Naomi are the women's tag team champions, as obviously they became new champs. So as enough, so there's that. And my prediction score after this match was 8-2. And my thoughts on this match was, while I wish the stipulation of how this match was set up and performed was done better, since it was rather confusing and hard to keep up with at brief points in my opinion, the match overall was still an alright one to watch. Definitely not as good of one that some might have hoped it could have been, but still an alright match overall. So there's that. For all that jumbo mumbo we just did, that's all I had to say for the match. So, blah. Moving on. We have Edge taking on AJ Styles. My prediction for this match was for AJ Styles to win, and I lost this match, so that's my prediction score, 8-3. And my thoughts on this match was, match definitely gave us quite the entertaining ride to say the least, as both men just kept pulling through after each other, had their close calls to get the W over the other. Granted, some might have felt the ending we got kind of ruined the drive of the magic this dream match between these two surely could have given us in the end, but it did make sense narratively, seeing as it was rumored a new stable between Edge and Damian Priest was being formed, was coming out of nowhere, actually being formed, at the forefront of it all, heading into WrestleMania weekend overall, to be honest. Because obviously, if I didn't mention it before, it was actually we talked about, actually within the process of me uploading my prediction video to begin with, that saying, oh yeah, Edge and Damian Priest have been forming a freaking new stable between the likes of obviously those two, and possibly the likes of obviously maybe Tommaso Ciampa and Rhea Ripley and maybe a few others, with this new dark gimmick they got going on between one another. That's to be seen. But for now, we have Edge and Damian Priest as the quote unquote stable. If you even want to call a two-person stable, that's blah. But still, it is what it is. Heading into the show, that's what we heard seen coming, and that's what we got overall between Edge and Damian Priest to give us what we actually heard coming. So there you go. Yeah, what was I saying? There's that. So, kicking off for all that tangent, kicking off my last few sentences of my thoughts was, granted this could give us a rematch at WrestleMania Backlash, which, spoiler alert, it is. But we just have to see where the storyline takes us from this result, which, as I just said, we're getting Edge Styles again taking on Edge at WrestleMania Backlash with Edge having freaking Damian Priest on the outside in his corner. So blah, there you go. Moving on next to a match we have to talk about briefly. I might add you briefly because boy, oh boy. The New Day taking on Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch on the outside. My first match was for the New Day to win, and I lost this match, making my prediction score 8-4. And my thoughts on this match was, what a waste of time in a match. Should have just kept this off the show if WWE didn't really have the time to give us the match properly, or just save it for the Smackdown after Mania if they didn't already win it to get it over with at the go-home show for Mania. Truly a disappointment, to be honest, especially after the tiring nature of Edge and Styles, in my opinion, as much as I had to unfortunately say that overall. Because like I said, AJ Styles and Edge gave us a lot going on in their match, and yeah, I'm not going to lie, it was kind of tiring. So, yeah. Hopefully they'll fix that with their match coming up next at freaking WrestleMania Backlash, and won't be too tiring and kind of too exhausting to watch. But you're going to tune in to my WrestleMania Backlash 2022 review to find out how I felt about their match compared to this match at WrestleMania. So, there you go. Cheap plug for me to freaking say, stay tuned for my WrestleMania Backlash review. So, blah. Anywho's, moving on from that, we have a double freaking presentation, I might add you, which we have with Pat McAfee taking on the likes of Austin Theory first, with Mr. McMahon on the outside in his corner. My prediction for this match was Pat for the win, but wouldn't be too surprised if Theory got the win over Pat. My prediction came true as Pat got the win over this match over Austin Theory, making my prediction score a 9-4. And my thoughts on this match was, where the New Day's match failed, this match came right up afterwards to truly bring some life back into the show. Truly had moments of offense and defense on both sides of the match that got everyone's eyes and attention on this match, as it came around to being one to surprise us all. Definitely a fun one to watch, to say the least. But that being said, though, as I'm kind of having hiccups, because obviously enough, we're talking for a long period of time, I'm bound to have slip-ups and hiccups along the way, so I do apologize for that. But with this being said, while this match actually was being good, and actually good fun time to watch, we got the other end of the coin, which was the next matchup between Pat taking on Mr. McMahon himself. Yes, we actually have this match, to say the least. So, yeah. With it said, my prediction of this match, I shall say, is Pat, obviously, to say the least, but truly wouldn't be too surprised if they gave the win to Vince after the match Pat just had with Theory, not to mention having him on outside overall, like I said, because obviously, Theory didn't go anywhere, so it was kind of just like a double switch, where you're like, oh yeah, I was on the outside for your badge, now you're going to be on the outside of me, so here kid, let me take a handle of this, let me get that son of a bitch! So yeah, that's pretty much a jump. That was like kind of a brief dramatization of what happened, at WrestleMania 38. Blah. By the way, 10 out of 10 freaking. By the way, how good of a Vince impression was that? Don't even dare comment on that. don't even comment. I'm playing. No more jokes. Okay, so with this said, Vince and Pat. My prediction was for Pat to win, and I lost this match as Vince got the win over that son of a bitch! I won him! I beat him! 1, 2, 3! Yes, I win! Cause I am the head of the table! Fuck Roman Reigns! I am the true head of the table of pro wrestling! Okay, I'm done. I'm for real this time. I'm done. But still, overall though, Pat lost this match, making my score 9-5. And my thoughts on this match after that freaking comedic drawback I just did. My thoughts on this match was, of course we'd get the result, but oh wells. Pat had his Mania moment, and I guess with the match prior with Austin Theory. And not to mention with Stone Cold Steve Austin as well to boot, with the stuff they had afterwards as well. Moving on from this segment though, so obviously that. No more of this segment, you son of a bitch, so on WWE team, get the fuck on! Move on! Get out of here, you're fired! Okay, we're leaving. No more Vince impressions, no more playing around with freaking Vince and Austin Theory and Pat. Their time is done. Moving on. Moving on to the main event. We have to breathe, to take some tension off. Let's breathe. Okay, guys, I'm your freaking guide. I'm your therapist. Just take a breathe in and breathe out. As I got another hair in my mouth. Curse this house being this freaking dusty and dirty. Time for spring cleaning, I guess. Okay, no jokes. No more jokes. No more fun. No more fun. Cause screw you, WWE team. You're not gonna have fun making this video. So, haha. Now finish the review, you son of a bitch. Okay, Vince. Okay. Alright, for real this time. Finally, the main event finally comes. The biggest match in WrestleMania history has finally come here to us now, as we have Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in a winner-take-all championship unification match for both the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. Obviously enough. My prediction was for Roman Reigns to win this match, and I won this match. So this is my prediction score, 10-5. And my thoughts on this match was, while I was feeling that's it feeling when the match ended, That not only meant I was invested in what it had to offer, and truly didn't feel its momentum going by so fast the way that it did. Not to mention the apparent injury Roman might have gotten it by the end of it all from the sound of things in the rumor mill, which I might add, currently going off of this shit, it doesn't seem like that's kind of an issue, because heading into the show now we have both Roman and Usos taking on Randy Orton, Riddle, and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania Backlash. As much as that freaking pisses us off, because obviously we won a championship unification match between the Usos and Arcade Bro that you promised us that WWE, and now you just stripped it away of it. Just say, oh yeah, here's this freaking 6-man tag team match. Have fun. So it's whatever, I guess. So yeah. So my point I'm trying to make is Roman's okay. He did not get injured, or at least if he did get injured, it wasn't anything too major to say the least. So with that said, with that out of the way now, okay, here we go. Back on track, guys. Each man had their time to shine and deliver in this match, and truly ended this off on a good note overall, to say the very least, overall. So, with that said, now out of the way, WrestleMania 38, night 1 and 2 has finally come to a close, and my prediction score overall within those 2 nights overall gave me a score of, once again, as I said before, was 10-5, and my overall thoughts of the show overall is, and I quote, a lot of things to say, a lot of freaking text to call here, so that's why I did that. So I said, let's go. Let's try to tackle this freaking. Let's try to tackle this long ass paragraph to end this freaking review off, shall we? So I said, let's go. Overall, it's pretty much a guaranteed verdict from just about everyone that Night 1 truly blew Night 2 out of the water, as it's been viewed by many as one of the best WWE events has ever put on from some time now, with myself included in that bunch, of course. But with that being said, though, the show overall to me just seemed to be a decent one to see. Granted, I would have wanted the management of time to have been done much better, and not as wasteful or just extended during the moments that it could have been considered under the following, which obviously here's a brief little bulletin list of stuff I would say to keep the time of the show kind of condensed or kind of cut short. With that said, with that being, constant replays of earlier events in the show, regardless of what night they were either performed or just shown off on, obviously enough. And number 2, segments or matches that either lasted too short for us to really truly appreciate or cared for, and what could have been given us during them, or carried on for way too long, or just kept being added to result in the show lasting much longer than it really needed to. Because obviously, seriously, WWE, you gave us 2 nights. There's no reason why you need to stretch shit out. You have your time. Give us 3 hours here, give us 3 hours here. That's it. You don't need any more. Dude, there's no need to time to stretch. That's the reason why there's 2 nights. You don't need to stretch your shit. So take this in mind heading into next year's WrestleMania, for the love of God. So with that said, moving on though. But nonetheless though, wasn't too bad of a Mania for sure. Were there moments I wish could have been better or different? Sure. But where the show truly shined, it truly did so far. Wait, let me rephrase this. What were the moments I wish could have been better or different? Sure. But where the show shined, it truly did for everyone to finally come together and appreciate what WWE did right for once, and something we'd be ever so fortunate to call everyday WWE programming if it only could be that way every week on TV, to be honest. Not an aesthetic thumbs up kind of show, but still one that deserves a thumbs up for sure for the moments it did give us for sure. So with this said, and finally done, ladies and gentlemen, this has concluded my WrestleMania 38 review, as we finally look forward to heading into WrestleMania Backlash 2022 coming up next on the channel. Enough for my predictions, and my review coming up next soon enough here on the channel, as I just said. With this said and done, overall, guys, this has been, I did not expect this video to be this comedic and this kind of, I mean, obviously enough, my videos are random and, kind of all over the place, but I was not expecting that whole freaking Vince McMahon kind of impersonation kind of character to come out of me. But still, like I said, and as I said before, you never know what you expect coming out of this channel, obviously enough. So, overall, I hope you enjoy the randomness and fun that was in this review, and I cannot wait to see what's coming up next for the channel. Up next, looking forward to my WrestleMania Backlash 2022 predictions and review coming up next. And the video after that, I might add, because obviously, spoiler alert, there's gonna be a big, I don't know, the link may not be big, but to me personally, it's going to be a big video coming up next following my WrestleMania Backlash 2022 review before I jump on to the next pay-per-view coming up next, which I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, I think it's going to be Hell in a Cell, but don't quote me on this, but still. So, after WrestleMania Backlash 2022, we're gonna finally dig up the hatchet and freaking dig up and actually give you guys a long-awaited video that you guys have been waiting for, and I have been putting it on the shelf for a while on the back burner to freaking do for the longest period of time, and now I find it just now with with WrestleMania, finally being on the back burner, finally grinding over to the sunset pretty soon when it comes to WrestleMania Backlash 2022, that I can finally pick it up and give it to you guys overall, to say the least. So, perfect opportunity to finally go for that video coming up soon after my review of WrestleMania Backlash 2022. So, with this said, all those things are to come up next for the channel, to come up next. So, with this said, I overall thank you guys for watching this review overall, for what it was worth, and all the fun that we had along the way. And with this said, ladies and gentlemen, the showcase in tomorrow's has finally come to a close once again. And we shall see you guys next time for what's coming up next to follow, for the backlash to come following the showcase of the Morals overall. So with this said, ladies and gentlemen, I am Sunday 313, and I'm signing out. Peace, ladies and gentlemen.